It's actually not that hard to get ahead of 99% of people using AI. And here's why. Most of us, right, we're using it for simple stuff. Writing an email, maybe asking a basic question. But there's this small group, a tiny fraction, who are playing a totally different game.
And that right there is what we're going to dive into. The real difference, the gap, it's not about who has the fancy tools. Pretty much everyone has access now. It's all about how you use them. So what are these skills that the pros are using?
Okay, so we're going to break it all down into three big ideas, or pillars. First, mastering your inputs. Second, perfecting your outputs. And third, systematizing your genius. And then at the very end, we'll tie it all together and show you how to think of AI as your brand new operating system.
All right, let's jump into Pillar 1, master your inputs. This is so fundamental. It's all about what you give the AI in the first place, because you can only get great results if you feed it great information. It's really that simple. So the first big skill you gotta have is prompt engineering. This is basically the art and science of talking to an AI. And you've probably heard this before, but it's never been more true. Garbage in, garbage out. You give it a lazy prompt, you're gonna get a lazy answer back. Every single time.
So, what's the secret sauce for a great prompt? Well, it breaks down into 4 parts. First up, role. You got to tell the AI who to be. Act as a world-class marketer or act as a seasoned lawyer. This really focuses it. Second is context. Give it the backstory, your specific situation. The more it knows, the better it performs. Third, the command. Be super clear about what you want it to do. And last but not least, format. Tell it how you want the answer back. You want a table, bullet points, a spreadsheet? Just ask.
Here's a good way to think about it. Without any information, talking to an AI is like talking to a complete stranger on the street. They have no idea who you are. But if you give it something called a master prompt, that stranger suddenly becomes your personal assistant, someone who gets you, your goals, your communication style, everything.
And believe it or not, making one of these is super simple. Here's how. Step 1, ask the AI to act like an interviewer and interview you for your job. Step 2, answer all its questions. Don't hold back. Give it all the details. I mean, you can even use voice to text and just brain dump. Step 3, and this is the magic trick, tell the AI to take all your answers and create a master prompt from them. Then you just save that. That file, that's basically your digital ID. You can upload it to any AI platform and bam, it instantly knows who you are.
Okay, but what if you have the opposite problem? What if you have too much information? AIs can get overwhelmed just like us. That's where a skill called context compression comes into play. The author of the source material had this exact issue. He had 2 million words of text he needed the AI to understand. No way it could handle that. So what did he do? He used AI to first summarize that massive document into a tight 200,000-word brief. Then he fed it that brief. It's like a pre-processing step for any huge project.
All right, so you've mastered your inputs. Now what? Let's move on to pillar number 2, perfecting your outputs. Because let's be real, that first answer the AI spits out, that's just the starting line. The real magic, the pro-level stuff, happens when you start refining it. The first skill here is something called taste curation. Look, an AI can give you 100 ideas for a new company name, but it can't tell you which one is brilliant. That takes your judgment, your taste. So how do you develop that? You build a taste library. Start collecting world-class examples of whatever it is you do. Amazing ads, killer product designs, you name it. That's your reference point for great.
And that leads us right into the next skill, output iteration. See, most people get an answer from the AI and they just go, good enough. The top 1%, no way. They argue with the AI, they push back, they tweak it. There's this great analogy of shaping clay. You don't just accept the first lump, you work it, you shape it, you refine it over and over until it's perfect.
And if you want to know what this looks like in the real world, get this. A team of just 5 people used 70,000 prompts to create a single Coca-Cola commercial. 70,000. That is the difference between amateur hour and world class.
Okay, let's flip this around for a second. What if your AI could do more than just agree with you? Because, most AIs are designed to be helpful, to be, well, a yes man. But imagine if you could turn it into a tool that actually challenges you, that shows you where your blind spots are. Well, you totally can. Here's how. First, you tell it to act as a devil's advocate, to poke holes in your ideas. Then, you ask it to use first principles thinking to back up its arguments, basically to break everything down to the absolute fundamental truths. And here's the cool part. When it gives you a piece of feedback that's really good, you can add that insight back into your master prompt, so the AI actually learns and gets smarter with you.
Okay, we've covered inputs and outputs. Now for the final pillar,
And this is where it all comes together. Systematize your genius. This is all about taking everything we've just talked about and building a process around it, something you can use over and over again.
And to do that, you need to know the difference between two key kinds of prompts. We already talked about the master prompt, right? That tells the AI who you are. It's your context. But a system prompt is different. It tells the AI how to behave. It's a set of instructions, a standard operating procedure.
I mean, just stop and think about that for a second. For the first time ever, you don't need to know code to program one of the most powerful technologies on the planet. All you need is your words. If you can write a clear sentence, you can be an AI programmer. And system prompts, that's your toolkit.
But okay, with all these master prompts and system prompts flying around, things can get super messy fast. The skill to learn here is called knowledge-based gardening. You have to treat your AI workspace like a garden. You got to weed it. So create separate folders for every project. In each one, you put your master prompt and any other relevant info. And then you keep all your best system prompts in their own organized library, ready to be used again and again.
And the last skill, this one is a real game changer. It's personalized learning. I mean, what if you could become an expert in literally anything? The author talks about asking his AI to write him what are basically custom research papers on any topic imaginable, but to write them like a story. Then he just turns them into audio and listens at the gym. This isn't some far-off future of education. This is something you can do today.
So, when you put all of this together, mastering your inputs, perfecting your outputs, and then building systems around it all, what you end up with is something way bigger than just a few new skills. It's a whole new way to think about what AI even is.
And this really says it all. For most people, AI is just a chatbot, a handy little tool. But for that top 1%, it's a creative partner, a collaborator, a co-pilot. It's not just another app on your screen. It's the new operating system for your entire professional life.
So, it's time to get out of beginner mode. Stop asking it for simple stuff. Start using it to build, to create, to have it challenge your best ideas, and to learn anything you've ever wanted to know. It all leads to one final question. You have your new operating system, so what are you going to create with it?